Welcome, curious souls, to yet another chapter of unsettling dreams, where shadows thicken and whispers grow teeth. I am Violet Nocturne, your guide through this twisted theater of fears. Tonight's tale is a chilling composition, a symphony of dread orchestrated by forces unseen. It begins with a melody, one you'll wish you never heard. Have you ever experienced the uncanny feeling that a song, a seemingly innocent tune, held an unexplainable power over you? Perhaps it echoed in your mind long after its last note faded. Tonight's story is about one such melody, and believe me, it's not one to hum along to. Our story follows a luthier, a violin craftsman, named Everett. The man was a genius, capable of pulling music out of wood and string like magic, but he bore a tragic flaw, ambition that bordered on obsession. There was one violin, however, that outplayed all others he had ever crafted. Its sound was haunting, incomparable. So haunting, in fact, that no one dared play it for long. You see, the violin seemed to have a voice of its own, a voice that whispered promises of fame, but at an unspeakable cost. Everett called this creation the Silent Strings, because he could never bring himself to play it. Oh, but how it tempted him. He would sit in his workshop at night, gazing at the ethereal finish of the violin under dim candlelight. You could almost hear it calling to him, although, of course, it was silent. Or was it? One fateful night, driven by a destructive yearning for perfection, Everett picks up the bow. The moment hair meets string, an otherworldly sound fills the room. It's a chilling, crystalline melody, one that seems to envelop the soul rather than the ears. Everett's fingers moved as though the violin itself guided them. It wasn't him playing the music. The music was playing him. But there was something else too. Something dark that crept along with the music. A voice, guttural and deep. Begin with a memory, trivial and distant, only to twist it, distort it into something horrific. Everett saw flickers in his mind. His childhood, his first violin, his failures, all crumbling, all wrong. The melody wasn't a song at all. It was a mirror. For days, Everett descended further into madness, unable to stop playing. Every note dragged him deeper into his fears and regrets. No food, no sleep, just these endless grating chords that rasped against his psyche. And yet, anyone who stumbled upon those haunting sounds couldn't stop listening. They stood frozen, captivated, as though their very life was entwined in the notes Everett played. Yet, they all described the same thing: a ghostly figure, a shadow drifting near, lingering at the periphery of the room as the violin sang. Its presence was undeniable, even for those skeptical of ghosts. It grew darker, taller, as the melodies grew more tortured. The silent strings fed on attention, on ears, and ultimately, on souls. The breaking point came when an audience gathered outside Everett's workshop. Neighbors, strangers, all drawn by that cursed composition like moths toward a flame. Driven to the brink, Everett came hurtling to a decision. He smashed the violin into pieces. The haunting sound shuddered momentarily, and the wailing spirit vanished, leaving an eerie silence. But the fragments of the violin, they burned, not in fire, but with cold, pale light. Before Everett's very eyes, they reshaped themselves, a grotesque mimicry of the beautiful object they had once been. And then, a new whisper began. "Thank you." The audience? Their memories were now fragmentary, faded echoes of the symphony they'd heard. And another luthier? Another performer? Somewhere, someone would soon unearth the silent strings, forever cursed to repeat that haunting melody. And Everett? His hands tremble even as they rest. No music ever flowed from him again, except that crystal-clear melody, which still weeps in his mind each sleepless night. So, darling, next time you hear a tune that feels a little too alive, do resist the urge to follow its notes. Just a bit of advice from me to you. Remember, our greatest fears often come from what lies beyond our understanding. Sleep well, my dear listener, if you can. Until next time, I'll be watching. Sweet dreams or delicious nightmares.